needs to rest. Yeah, you know, that was not, I'm saying again, it was not wrong with the hero symbolism and all the hero energy, because it was the way of evolution to took us forward as a species. But now we need to ground this energy, this hero energy, with deep feminine energy. This is the energy that will stop the hero to become the new way, the host. Actually, I call this the host. And why I will explain. But if you know how the water is, how do you feel the water? I'm taking now the element from the earth into this story, but just to show you, what is the water like? Can anyone say? Flowing. Flowing. What else do you feel like water?
Transparent.
Transparent. Exactly.
Heavy.
Heavy.
Yeah, water is heavy.
It's heavy also. It's heavy. Okay. Heavy. Gentle. Okay.
Various forms, from steam to water to ice.
Exactly. It's very. It takes different forms. Very good point. Anything else?
It also.
It takes.
Nurtures life. Sorry.
No, it takes the shape of whatever it is put in.
Yes.
Beautiful. It takes the shape for whatever it is put it into. Wow, that's also such a good point. You stated very strong points now about the water, and water is exactly this, fluid. It's soft. It's yielding, and you know, water. It will actually wear away every rock. A rock that is rigid and that it's strong, because it takes time. It's soft, but it's powerful. And you know, this is exactly what the feminine principle is all about. The feminine is like a water. It's soft, but it's also deep. It's heavy. It's strong. It can take forms. It can change. It can change very fastly. It can glue things together also. It can, you can drink it, and if you are thirsty, it is the source of life. So this is what I feel also that the deep feminine is bringing into the society. And we mustn't underestimate the power of softness. Because that doesn't mean that it's not strong at all. The softness is actually very strong. And it just takes a new principle of strength. So, and that is also, if you know Lao Tzu from the Zen, he says, what is soft is strong. So this is what we as women can bring into the world, into the society, into the communities. And we don't need to step into this superhero that can take everything and she can do it all by herself. So that's what is changing right now, and that's what we can bring forward. And I will, how does that apply to leadership? How does that apply to leadership? What does leadership really means? Anyone, what do you say?
Leadership.
Yes.
Starts from home, I think.
How?
Starts from home, leadership. Yeah. Leadership is to
Starts from home.
guide,
Starts
lead.
from home.
Yeah.
Okay. It's guiding the leading, you say.
Leadership is the quality to be able to steer things forward.
Okay, to still bring things forward.
For me, it's a big responsibility and commitment to develop community and others.
Wow, big responsibility and commitment. Very strong points. Thank you. Anyone else feels something about leadership?
If leaders are honest and authentic, people will follow.
Honest and authentic, and then the people will follow. Also such a strong point. Yes.
I feel that you have to take the people along with you in a certain direction. So if the leader has the framework of taking the people in that right direction, then he can guide and influence people correctly.
So having the way to show the direction.
Right direction.
Okay, beautiful. Yes.
I believe there is positive and negative leadership depending on what one is into. But basically, to me, leadership means being able to influence the masses or the people around you to do something along with you.
Beautiful. So, able to influence people that they come and do something with you. Beautiful. Exactly. And you know, the word lead comes from the root that means to go forth. And its leading is actually about crossing the threshold and going to places which were never been seen before. So it's going through the edge, stepping through the edge and do a little breakthrough to go places that are new. And if we want to go forth right now, then it's time to go beyond also these heroes that are so much present in everyday world. And also about the root of the word leadership means something else. It talks about the process. It's not the final thing. It's not about the product or the goal or something, but it's about the process.
It talks about the journey rather than...
Exactly. Leadership is about the journey. And the journey, the leadership starts with a journey to self. Like self-journey. Journey toward consciousness. And it's also, that is the first step, but then another step. Welcome, Marie. Welcome to join us. You can come even closer. Now, it's also a personal process, this leadership, but then it's also a collective process, as you already all said, because we are inviting people to come along us. And this means to show the way to others. Do you know Joseph Campbell? Did you hear about Joseph Campbell? He was a very well-known American author of many books, traveler, but the researcher of the mythology. And he was researching myths in different cultures along through the world. And he discovered that each culture has the same myth in their evolution in the story. And he called this the hero's journey. And even though he was talking about the hero, the symbolism is very much into how we walk our journey in life. Everybody. And the hero's journey, okay, I could write it, okay, I will just explain it. But it is like, if you know the spiral, Okay, it's the spiral. And we start in one point in life. We are here. And we say, okay, there, at one point in life we say, we are working, we are having jobs, we are having families, we are having everything. But in one point in life we say, there must be something more in life. I want to do something else. I feel there is something now that is taking me forward. I need to do a step forward. And this is the first point we start in the spiral. And then, okay, we say, let's go forward. So at that time, when we make a decision, or we say, okay, now it's the time for me to open to something else, the life will bring us information. It will come to us. Something will come to us that will say, oh, this is where I want to go. The life will open for us the first step. And this first step is the step where we have to make a decision. Will we follow it or not? And that is usually the time when universe gives us a test. As soon as we say, okay, the test will come. And the test will be like, something will happen in our life. Maybe we decided to go to this conference, for example, and we just collected the amount of money to go here. And then exactly when we decided to go, washing machine broke at our home. So we would need to, I don't know, give this amount of money for the washing machine or something. So we are now in the perception. Oh my God, should I go? No, this is a sign. I don't want to go. What to do? Blah, blah, blah. You know? This is where all our unconscious beliefs come forward. And so this is actually the test of the universe, and this is the threshold. If we say, I will go anyway because I felt the call, my inner call was to go to the conference, that was my first feeling. So if I say yes to this, and I go anyway, even the washing machine broke, that is where I step into the first unknown in the spiral. And that takes courage, and that takes commitment, and that takes trusting into the self, because we are stepping into the unknown world. And then a lot of phases goes on. There are phases that we are then discovering through this journey, because in this unknown, we start to learn new things. New people are coming to us in this unknown. New teachings, we get some new information. And we need to discern what is right for us and not, because along with new people information comes also all the time something, testing us, all the time. But also all the time, when the test comes, also comes something that gives us hope for forward. Like the person that comes in the right time saying the right thing. And so you're again in the right direction. And this is the journey that it goes through this unknown. And in this unknown is one more thing that we need to face and we need to know. People are usually scared of this unknown because, you know why? Because in the unknown we also have to face our deepest fear. And Joseph Campbell was also the one who said, the cave you are most afraid to enter holds the greatest treasure that you seek. And this is like the lowest point of the spiral. And when you reach this point, you need to face your deepest fear. Once you do this, you come out different. It's a rebirth. Something new comes from this. You get a new perspective. You get a new view on life. And you're changed. And from this, you have to then go back to the world somehow, But not only this, when you face your deepest fear, hello and welcome, you get a reward. Usually universe then gives you a reward. And this reward is a gift. It's the treasure that you were seeking. And it comes from personal thing. And then with this gift, then you think it's over. I got this. I'm fine. I'm happy. And now? Now? What about now? We usually stop here. Because now we feel fine. We are good in our skin. We feel we have been rewarded. But you know what? The journey has only begun. The journey has only begun because now we have a commitment. We have responsibility that we share this gift with the world. And that is when we have to go back. We were on this mythical journey in the unknown. We made all these steps and discovered something. But now, and we discovered actually our new gift, new self. And now we need to bring them. We go back to life, back to work, but, coming back from this conference and going back to ordinary life, going back to work, doing things that we were used to do. And sometimes there comes the resentment. I don't want to go back. I don't want to do this. It doesn't have a point. So it's again the test, actually, of the universe. There comes another transformation within, because at some point we need to take this responsibility, go back to life today, and bring this forward, and use our voices, and speak about it, and change the system from within. So that's the journey that comes from our personal transformation. And that is the step toward personal leadership. You know, leadership, it has actually 3 pillars. It comes from personal, then goes to interpersonal, and then to the system. And for me, my passion is personal one, personal leadership, because here is where all starts. And when we come back to the society, to our communities, change, transform, and bring this gift forward and speak about it, we are coming from the new authentic perspective. We are coming from our deepest self. We will be vulnerable about this, especially women. But you know what? This is our power. Vulnerability is not something to hide. Is not something to be ashamed of. Is not something not to value. It is actually a key element of deep feminine principle that needs to come forward into our communities, into our own lives, into bringing people together. And then, what is also where comes, this is where leadership actually starts from. And you know, here you see the circle. Because when we step forward back to the communities, we are transformed. But then everybody of us can do this transformation personal. Then it's time to come together. The next phase is coming together. Coming together as one source. Coming together, and we are all equal. That's why there is a circle. We are coming from the same space. Yes, we are different. We are all unique. We have each our own personal story, our own way of transformation, our own way of doing things, our own way of dealing with things. But we are all coming from a powerful, deep, same source. And this is what the new era is demanding from us. It's demanding that we step forward as one source. And then we can join these forces together in the circle. So we become suddenly, when, we come forward and each of us is carrying a gift. So imagine, we come into the circle and each of us carries a gift. And then at one point something is happening in the situation and we need your gift. I don't have your gift and no one of us carries your gift. So you will take the lead and you will say, okay, I can do this. So you will take forward. And then a new situation comes and you will say, okay, this is a situation I'm not comfortable with. And maybe Vera will say, this is where I feel comfortable, so she will take the lead. And so, in every situation, someone else takes the lead, because it's his turn, and it's his step, and it's his way. But for this to happen, we need to come together. And what is important here is to create spaces that we can come together exactly like this, in our gifts. And in feeling comfortable, in feeling in trust. We need to create spaces where trust is present and where we feel safe to share our gifts. And this is the circle way. It's always a circle way. And the circle is the feminine principle. It's such a feminine principle because it connects people. It connects, but it also gives them the equal space. And sometimes in the history, in the communities, in small communities, in villages, even in Slovenia, the people, like the main people, I don't know in English how you call them, starešine or Yeah,
Senior.
the senior people that were like deciding about the village, they came together in a circle. They sat under the tree. They had the like stones, exactly, around the tree, because they felt the tree gives them power. The tree, they knew that the roots of the tree are connected with the earth, and it will give them power. And then they knew that the branches of the tree are connected with the universe, with the universal energy, and that this will bring them also the support for whatever they decide. So they sat around the tree, and they were sitting in the circle, and they were communicating like this along.
It happens here in India.
It happens here in India, you see. And these were it was a tradition, it was the ancient wisdom. They knew what they were doing. So this is something that can come forward again. And women have this principle and this wisdom imprinted in the cells of our bodies. We know this. We just need to awaken to this again. And reawaken this again. And when we talk about this, that comes, it brings the memory. So the circle way is the way of the feminine principle. And when we come together in this kind of way, it's something new happens. We create the field together, the field of energy. All these gifts that we are carrying, and you lead when your gift is on the turn, and someone else leads when it's his turn. But for this, we all need to step forward. Because if you don't show your gift, I don't know that I can, that you can do this. And it will be a lack in our circle. It will be a lack in our society. So something will be missing. The bigger picture will not be able to come into the place. And so people will not be able, not even to rely on you, but not even to, something will be shaking. We will not know what to do in this situation. So we need you. So don't hide, please. I'm speaking to everyone. But that's why our voices are important. That's why we need to step forward. And that's why we need to create spaces that are trustful, that are safe, and that will bring our energies together. And something else happens in this space. When we create a space like this, we join our energies together. Each of our gifts has an energy, has a source. And it becomes one new source. And this collective energy that is coming forward from this circle is much more powerful than only individual one. And this collective energy, we can have fun together, it's not even need to be serious anymore, because it's joy that brings the biggest transformation now. And when we come together in this space and create this field of energy, this will affect each individual. And it will push him forward in exactly the way that he needs or she needs. It will be different for each of us, but it will definitely come into being. If we are aware of it or not. So that's why these places are so important. And that's why, I explained this now we become hosts, in a certain way. We are not heroes anymore. And the leadership doesn't take hero energy anymore. That's what I was explaining in the beginning, why hero energy is not anymore, doesn't fit anymore into the new structure where we are coming in the world. We become hosts. Because when you take the lead, what happens? That everyone else will need to be the best of herself or himself, so that we can support you, that you can do your job. And we will take care that all the conditions will take place. So when you will take the lead, all the rest will support you, so you can do your job perfectly. And that's why also trust among us is so necessary. We need to establish this trust. we are definitely aware that each of us is unique and different. So why bother? Why compete? Why even don't share voices? It's such a, you know what French people would say, passé. It's over with this area. And so we better just accept it and open our hearts and souls and put our masks down, because we don't need them anymore. We need it to survive, of course, but now we need to thrive. If you want to thrive, we need to come through the authentic space of being one source. And now it's time, I feel, also with this conference, these are now the opportunities to come together, to share this, even in global arena, is so much more powerful, because we share all the same stories. And we can share them along, and we can see that we are so powerful together. We can change the world for sure. So, yes, this is somehow becoming from heroes to hosts. And never underestimate this deep feminine water principle, that is host principle. Because I was talking about this, creating the space that this can happen, this, I feel, is also my mission. So I also created a space, I call it like this, I created the platform with the vision that it can support people to come together in such a way so that we can share our voices and that we come from different fields and from different perspectives. Because, science is science. Then we have, art, we have business, we have spirituality. But those words are not actually apart from each other. That all goes together, and one with other cannot exist. We can we can help ourselves so much if we start to join these dimensions, because it will open our perspectives. And I will just share. Okay, I have a computer here. But okay, that's why I created Envir. I call Envir such a space. And Envir, I will tell you, it comes from, it's Slovenian word, but it's structured from, N stands for number 1 in Slovenia. And you can see what it means. And vir in Slovenia means source. So it's one source. But in English, Envir is a shorter term for environment. And environment means create. I wanted to show with the environment that I want to create opportunities and space so that we can come together in a very authentic way, share our voices, and also merge different perspectives. And how do I do this? Because this, someone says something, it's so in the air, but it's not. It's hard to sometimes put the words into the things that you see. But it's a circle way. I'm hosting events also and bringing people from these different perspectives, from these different worlds, and they share their stories, and we combine how this goes together, how this can contribute to the world. So I think this is the way that I can contribute also to create such an opportunities and such a spaces. And also I wanted with this to show people that networking is very important and very, very good. But I wanted to unnetwork now things. Unnetwork in a way because I don't want to instant just give you a card and you give me mine and that's it. I want you to tell me your story, and then I will know who you are. And I will tell you my story, and you will know who I am. And when we share our stories together, then whatever needs to be, whatever we can do together, it will organically come into being, if we match in the vibration. And for this we need time, and we need to slow down. And our world needs to slow down a bit, because everything goes so fast, everything goes to the heroes. We can do it, let's do it now, and it's good in a way, but if we want now new models, new structures, new organizations coming to being, we need to slow down, we need to take time, and this happens within. And we need to create opportunities that we can share things from a deep space. of who we are. And that's how the best networking happens. So today, universe gave me time, 1 hour here, I don't know, because I'm alone, so, you know, but I don't know. Okay, I have something more to share. I have something more to share, but just, you know what, I will just share what for me are these family principles. You know, this is also something that I wanted to show. Oh, thank you. Okay, she said I need water, I will drink. Thank you. This is also, you know, you see this, what I wanted to show. This is all these stones, little small stones. Each of them is unique. But you see, if the smallest stone wouldn't be there, this structure wouldn't be in the place. So this smallest stone here needed to be in its best version. This smallest stone needed to step forward and show who he is. So he could take this spot. And without this stone, we wouldn't build a bridge to something new together. And this is what we are doing with the New Era leadership. We are stepping forward, each one as one of the stones. All unique, all different, small, tall, big, whatever. It doesn't matter, because each is needed exactly how he is or she is. And when it comes from this perspective, look what we are building. We are building the bridge into something new. We can cross this time, this period of time that we have found ourselves right now into. And you know, we made a lot of steps now. As a woman, we made a lot of steps. We were doing a lot, and very good step. Each step was needed that we came to here. And still each step that we do is needed. But you know what? Right now we need to take a leap. It's time to take a leap because we don't have much time for where we are now. And if we want, you know, and this can happen when we come together. Okay. And why these family principles? This is the quote that I found. I read someplace and I said, yes, this is it. This is exactly why women as leaders are having such an important role or time now to share. You can read it, but I will share. I will not read it because you can. But I will share what family principles really are. And I'm sharing this from my own experience. I'm not sharing it because I learned about this and I read about this, but I'm sharing because my journey took me through all these principles. And I'm, of course, still developing them. Don't take me for granted, you know, that I already use them all and totally reinforced by it. But it's a self-journey for me too. But I'm coming from the experience. I'm coming from learning through the different projects that I had, from different collaborations, from my own self-development, and from every step that I took. And this is not an easy journey. It takes courage, really, it takes courage. And it takes vulnerability, because you need to really open, first to yourself, and accept all of your dark and light, everything. Because this is the divine feminine, you know. Divine feminine means wholeness. Divine in feminine means wholeness. It's masculine principles and feminine principles together. But they are coming through feminine because we are women. And feminine, authentic principles are developing our community. Is the power also of deep listening. We know how to, when we stop down and when we know who we are, we also know how to listen. Deep listening is so important now in everyday life, in our organizations, through what we do, because we usually listen in a way to respond. And I know I'm doing also this. I need to, you know, always take 2 breaths and then remember, okay, don't listen to respond now, take it in. And But we actually need to listen. Deep listening means that we are really listening. Not thinking what I will respond even before someone finishes his sentence. When you slow down and stop, deep listening comes from being comfortable also with yourself and taking it in what someone says. And from that space, a meaningful dialogue can develop. And we need today meaningful dialogue in our companies, among all our employees or employers, among managers, among leaders, and of course among ourselves first. Through this, we can actually see that the communication can almost can save many things. It's not. We just need to start listening to each other. Also, what is next? Feminine principles is the energy of the motherhood. Mothers know how to take care for the family. They're having this gift of, but even women, if women are not mothers, they still carry this energy because this is in our structure, is in our cells, is in our cells because our bodies give birth, and they have this knowledge, and we can bring this soul back to the world through this. And this is what feminine leadership is doing, bringing back soul to the world. And our world needs soul. And motherhood energy knows how to do this. It's a way of nurturing, caring, and taking care of for greater good. She's doing something for greater good. And she always take care of her children, no matter what. But one important thing, we don't have to forget we mustn't forget on ourselves. We have to host ourselves first so that we can host others. And this is also such an important topic also because I think this hero energy really exhausted women in this way. We were, this is where the burnout comes from. This is where the stress comes out from. This is where because we were suppressing all the emotions, everything. We needed to take it all, be the best, be perfect and everything. But this is where the illness comes from. And now it's time to host ourselves first so we can melt all this energy out and then we can host others. And this is something that every organization also needs to be aware of. The organization needs to host itself first too. And then it can really step into a new level of being. What else? Yeah, okay, this authentic voice. We are coming now not from... We need to come from... We were coming from ego consciousness, but we need to come from eco-consciousness. That is something where we are coming also now, from ego to eco. Eco means wholeness and being also aware of the environment. Bring back the voice of earth into leadership. This is also thing that women or feminine intelligence can do. So we know that we are part of bigger ecosystem. Whatever we do, we are connected. And if we are not taking care of the nature and the environment, then we didn't do nothing. We didn't do nothing. We need to think of the 7 generations ahead. And that's why it's so important to step into these principles. Yes, and also women carry the wisdom of community. This is also something that women have into their body, into
I
themselves.
want to ask you a question.
Ask me.
All is fine when we say that we need to create collective energy, collective consciousness. All that is fine. When we have, 50% of this world is made of men and 50%, by and large, statistics say, are made of women.
Yes.
So when there are men who are wanting to listen to women or wanting to go by what women say, then it's fine. We are able to do what we ultimately aim to do. But there are, at a lot of places, there aren't that situations. In such a situation where there is a a man community who's hostile or who takes it as a personal ego issue, then what do you do in such a scenario?
Yes, I'm very well aware of it, that the situation is so still different in the world, you know.
Yeah.
And I know in India or in other countries even, we heard about Afghanistan yesterday, so it's still, this is the problem, still, I know. And that's why, but you know, these feminine principles are in both women and in men. So we need to reinforce these principles in any case, but also in men. In practical way. Yes, we need to, I believe in power of love here, not the love of power. Yes, Yana, you can.
I think that in these cases you have to, maybe some, these communities or these kind of people, they are still not prepared. I think the best way in life is not to push. Maybe they are coming to this point in the, within their process. So give them love and go. You cannot do anything. If they don't want, they are not eager to perceive this, or So I think it's not the point that you have to work with this case. Step back and try another way to do it.
Yes.
With someone else. I think don't push in your life. Whatever is pushed is not good. This is my opinion personally.
Yes, thank you. Sonia also has something to say.
I just wanted to say, or you can start to opening their eyes by talking their language, by explaining the same things that Andreja is now explaining, using men's language, using models, using structures, using everything that they understand. This is my way, hopefully.
Yeah, thank you, Sonia. I believe each of us has its own way here. And I also believe, as Jana said, that pushing is not, it's hard to say right or wrong way, but for me it's not the true way, because then it scares people. It also scares men. Deep feminine energy is very powerful energy. It can scare people. But in such a way, women has also, what we said before, how water takes shape of wherever it is. So you can take shape in whatever situation you find yourself in. So that means you are adaptable to the situation. And we have this power. It doesn't, but just we have to come from integrity. It would be wrong to manipulate things. And it's a thin line. And this is our accountability to ourselves first. Because we know how to do it, we could manipulate people, and women use this power a lot. So that's why a lot of mistrust and betrayal is coming out from the women, and that's why it's a big wound among the women. And we need to build trust among the women first, because it's very important that we start to trust each other again. And these manipulation things now need to, it's clearing, actually. And for this situation, we can still come from this our energy, and it's a soft energy. It needs to be deep and powerful. We need to stand our ground, but we can adapt. We can go in a diplomatic way.
In my opinion, I was used to be in the business environment. And, you go through these schools, for this education, then at work, that everything they teach you how to manipulate. It can be on the high level or on the lower level. But at the end, it's like, it's how to achieve the goal. And this is not authentic. And this is, I think, that what you said, that it's really if you are congruent with your authenticity, also the other side or the other person can perceive this, and you can achieve the goal.
Yes, and sometimes here we need a bit more of time. For example, sometimes I would say don't back up, don't hide. You can open, but you can do it. But you don't need to be don't need to be pushy, or coming from the man war energy. But still open so much that things can fall into its place by themselves, and that can happen. But for this, we need strong connection with ourselves and also strong connection with the environment. And that is how we bring this power of water, into the place. And this can help. And also sometimes we need to use our voices and be strong and say enough is enough. This is also this is not excluded. This is not excluded. And we need to sometimes also tell men, okay, now it's enough, Or I invite you forward. And women will not be able to do this alone. That is the fact. And we are not meant to. We need our men along. We need to give them also space that they can develop their own masculine energy back. Because they also lost it. And why? Because women took it forward. Because we stepped into this power hero energy. So they lost their place. So they became soft and loose and, And we miss actually this powerful man energy. But now we took quite a few steps, women. We took the lead in a way, in a society. We did something. Now we need to also allow time for men that they will also take this leap. And we need to trust them too. And we need to invite them along. Because they're our protectors. We need to step them into back to their protection role. We are the creators, they're our protectors. And we can learn so much from this powerful togetherness. We can really move the world into the new era. And it brings both qualities then together in both of us. So this, I think, it's on us to discover together. But not only discover, also, try to bring these qualities into everything you do. This, I feel, it's also important. It's not only to talk about it, but it's really to use them into... sometimes we know what to do. But it's so important, I keep saying this week, how we do it. And it's how we do it, this is the process. We talked about leadership, that leadership is a process, it's the journey. So that is actually the leadership. To use this, what we talk, what we feel, into every step that we do. Otherwise we didn't do nothing, and the change will not be sustainable. We come to the self-sustainability and to the sustainability of the world with our steps, with our actions, with how we do things. And also, that's why also in Slovenia we have now developed, we are still doing it, but we developed the model. We feel that it's time to reinforce these principles, these feminine principles together, and in every way. So if we are doing some new model, it's also a way of educating people. It's a learning process. And it can start so that every step in this should be made from these principles together. In a way of whatever we do, in a way of business model, in a way of programming, in a way of, ownership, if we do something, so that every step must have these principles and it must have this integrity within. So that's how we come to the sustainable change. And that's how we can move something on. Even when we talk about gender equality, it's the same. Equality is good, it needs to happen, but it starts within, that's one thing. And the other thing, if we do equality, if women come to these positions from the same old beliefs and from the same perspectives, then we didn't do nothing, because the change will not be sustainable. Not nothing, okay, something, but we need really this deep feminine to come into being in all steps, in all ways. And I think now I used the whole hour. Oh my God. You see, I believe me talking about this. I I really, you are welcome.
I can do it without it.
Okay.
So I'm just bringing an Indian perspective of the feminine here, since we're talking about the feminine. According to us, the whole... So since we worked with the feminine traditions a lot in India, we've just given a perspective of the feminine energy. So basically, according to the Indian cultural perspective, everything that is vibrational is feminine. Everything that moves in the universe is feminine. So the feminine is not one archetype. The feminine is all the archetypes of nature, especially when we talk about the Shaktis. So Shaktis are not just Shaktis which are women, but Shaktis which are flowing, and they can flow in a woman or in a man. So I'll just give a brief about the 4 Shaktis that we talked about. The 4 feminine Shaktis means powers or archetypes or energies. So we say that each human being, woman or man, belongs to either one or more of these 4 archetypes. So one kind of person is a person who likes to see in the future, is a visionary, who likes to give a vision to themselves or to people. There's another, very short, there's another archetype of people who have the strength of tolerance and surgical action against evil, etc. There's a third archetype of people who like exchange, who like meeting people, who like exchanging energies, who like getting people together. And maybe either one of these archetypes cannot do what the other does. And then there's a 4th archetype who believes in microscopic perfection, in perfection in skills, perfection in works, and they like to go deep into the heart of things, and they're not interested in public relations, they're not interested in exchange. They're not interested in surgical action, and they're not interested in far vision. They just want to go into the heart of things. So each of these 4 Shaktis, of course there are many, many other descriptions of archetypes and powers. But if we look at ourselves in the universe, we have these men and women have these 4 distinct archetypes, and some of us are a combination of all 4, and then we become perfect. And some of us are very strong in one, and we need a team of such people who are complementary in bringing all these archetypes together and going forward in life. However, I just wanted to comment on what you said about who men are and who women are, and they play their roles. I think it's a lot to do with the feminine and the male energies within us. And there are a lot of women who are naturally more masculine from within. And if we ask them to play just the creator role and not the protector role, they can't, because they're not like that. So, but they are as much women as anybody else. So I also feel there might be a danger in stereotyping what women typically are and what men typically are, because there are women and there are women, and there are men and there are men. And some men only like to dream and write poetry, and if you say, come on, you're my husband, protect me, and you're not supposed to write poetry and dream, then he can't do it, poor thing, because he's not made like that. So we also have to, it might be dangerous to create very, very fixed archetypes about what a man is and what a woman is in this life, because we are all made to dream. So that's just something I wanted to add.
Thank you very much for this. It's a very good point, and I totally resonate with what you said, because I actually feel the same, you know. So thank you for this comment. It's very important to put it along. Yes, with this, I would say thank you very much all for coming, and I hope to see you somewhere in Slovenia. Okay, I invite you all for a group picture here, if you are willing to.
We're doing it into the channel.
Yes. What's your next session?
I don't know for now.
I don't know if we have a photographer or not, but I
Can you please publish
excuse me.
Yeah, sure. I've got it.
Yeah, you can call it. Go and call the Come on.
Could we ask those two ladies to take a picture?
Yeah, sure.
Please. And now that Sonia can come.
Thank you.
Can you all understand some of the Slovene?
No,
Just go back a bit. It will get it.
Great. You're learning a lot, yeah.
As long as the camera, the video, because I think they're still recording.
Have you got it?
She's recording. One more. Okay. I will give you another one and take this one.
Okay, guys.
Wait a minute. Our host. Yes.
Just wait.
Okay, one more. We have our official photographer.
He's
coming. Yay!
There we are. Give us these pictures.
भाई थोड़ा पीछे एक बार wait
Yes. Yes.
thank you
Thank you.
Давайте скотчем. Все, две уже
Why women are designed to succeed?
No, it is very useful, but I didn't want to say, but I wanted to point out that I will give you two. Okay, I need a photo.
You want to listen to everyone.
One for me too, please. One for me. features.
I will give you
working on
and give me your
combination of both.
But
some of pure interest. Yes.
Širaka, hoćeš
And then there are other times.
On my.
Oh, sorry.
For Lucy also.
Curiosity as well.
Lucy, please one picture.
This is our healing with vibrations.
One sec, let's come.
And then I'm struggling to, try and... But you can't be in three places at once. And I found one session.
yeah, but you hide it, because you hide it when you have a project. Okay, please get the project.
It actually means that I'm bringing the skills as an artist, but as a social like this is weird, but it's only a skill. So that's why I managed to make our whole because it's
Mora zdaj malo počasi pakirati. No izvom pola, če bo zdaj še kupovali, kako boš zdaj ga povedal?
fast. I'm saying maybe you didn't come much because then you won't have then some favorite
Yes, and we
that
have
fast.
also the other room, Dorothy, from the TV show.
Yeah.
Yes, you know each other.
No, I'll just met her here.
Yeah. Hi. I haven't said hello to you yet, sorry.
It's okay.
But I'm giving you my card. Great. So giving you this, so you can just see a bit of Slovenia and everything.
And I was telling myself I'll do it for her. And then I forgot to make how she looked. And then I'm seated here, something just so I'm seated here and I see her and I'm responding to her. And I told her, what are you talking about? Okay, this way. I don't know how she looks like.
Oh, great!
What happened?
So yeah, so this was lunch. Can you explain about your station?
But then we putting money in, but you don't get anything out. So we stopped because also we were putting and living up their grants too much. So we decided to
That's a challenge.
so that they can now put their children in their men and so we are now calling their church to be microfinance stable banking. So they save and then they do a loan in China. It's like at a very, very low interest.
Thank you.
The other groups that lend money, they are at least I don't know what they are.
October 7:30.
So if money is so few women to implement. So we have a country that does it. So everywhere you go, I carry some to sell for them so that they can take money back home. But was not business minded. So I haven't sold, but it's okay, you can still go on Indian side. And then we are starting soap making factory.
Yeah, exactly.
We are also talking about starting a uniform distribution factory. We want to manufacture uniforms because everybody goes to school. So we are really trying to get out of just being depending on donors, charity, just money coming in, and then when it's finished, we go back in the donor. So what we are doing is we want to be sustainable ourselves because there comes a time when there is donor fatigue. So what do you do when you can't fund this? That's why we want to come up with we are trying to do this social change. Just getting money and giving
To really do it sustainable.
and at the same time want to make
2 years ago.
sustainable.
Yeah, I wrote since I wrote for 2 years this book. Something else is about the one-on-one sessions whereby what I offer is fitness and diet as well.
कार्ड है ये वाली हो जाएगी 2:15 से 3:15 से ये 90 मिनट की दिखा रही हो जाएगी।
We are setting the steps for programs. A couple of just it's not we can do so what we are trying to do now, we want to come up, we want to build a strength school for guys, and we want them to start from other places too, but we want to start from kindergarten. So we want to start with one who is still they haven't started into that's where this is actually going on. The last
summarize. This is actually
I have to
take away message, but it's also for
last year they gave my son
what is the
fellowship to attend the collaboration, so I wrote on this pattern. So right now
it's actually interesting because also, you know, a client of mine, she read that now, and she said it's amazing. It is nice as a book. Exactly. And she said, you know what, there is this technique. I experienced this in your session. It's like, yes.
I go find it for free. Because I can't put a topic in Kenya. It's not our country, it's not in state.
Yeah, it's what your numbers you want to do.
If I go in some
countries are listed.
yeah, it's not in state. So if I want to put a family, I have to go to some countries or Australia. So I'm just trying to
It's,
5,000.
I mean, a lot of people are taking this services, using the services, but it's not
they invite us, grassroots leaders, who would say yes.
She's very nice. You know, how to balance himself. A couple of things.
I was there the first time. Started meeting interesting people and build our office. And then when I went there last year, now we have got this land for extension. So I really love to go back there this year so that we can have clientele to build the school. Because they want to be teaching girls particularly. They'll pay fees as much as they have to pay as much as they will pay in another private school. But they pay money and they'll be able to make that sustainable.
And I find contribution just doing all this journey and getting rid of and going around. I don't advise this, right? Just give the
You explained well. Okay. We'll see what we can do, but definitely we'll stay in touch.
But psychologist comes in the picture now, but mentoring is also
I will also check
it's a thin border between.
You have an email? No, a web page? No, just
the website.
Yeah, they went from this journey into this coaching.
But you're on Facebook.
It's on
But they can find you there.
But it's not working. But yeah, mentoring is also
It's another topic.
so it's close. But it's like mentoring is like more There's also everybody has its own ideas. And when you listen to a friend and you give advice, because of also your needs. It's like, no, through your lens, right? Also through your filter and judgment. So, for example, if you have a partner and she I'd rather offer, you know, and you say, thank you for sharing my own keep this always in mind. That's what I mean. And eventually you will say, you're amazing, go for it. Or you will say, something like that.
Jasmin, is it starting?
I have no idea where moderation is or anything. We are right now 2 speakers.
2 of the 4?
Yes.
Maybe you can just start it.
I think you could probably just start.
Could you check please on his desk?
Is this the camera guy? Are you the camera guy?
Can you check? I think there should be a moderator.
There should be a moderator who's coordinating.
But yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you know,
It's crucial. It's early morning and right after lunch.
I was telling Jasmin all the talking and we all listening to you with rapt attention.
Say that again?
I was telling Jasmin that we do all the talking and the 3 of us will fill in and contribute as and when we feel called out to.
Yeah. Well, the other 2 aren't even here though, right?
No, but they have also different topics.
Yes, exactly.
Cheryl Collins, she's with Sangita. You know, the one from South Africa? No, the speaker that was.
Oh,
That's her. They're always.
Oh, yes, right. Right, she was in the room. Oh, yes, you're right. Actually, that's right.
I mean, it's like I just saw Shinjini.
Yeah, she's been in.
Upstairs.
Yeah.
We're both there somewhere.
Well, TikTok. Look at the little tea party stuff, right? I know, isn't it? And you know what? I bought that. Down in Waldmann. I took the kids everything, and it was somebody had, when they brought it out of their garage, and the chairs had this ugly color, disaster. So, of course, I see it, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I didn't see the fabric. So I went to fabric. I always got my friends as I'm plastic covering it.
Yeah, I also have been in that life project for 4.5 years.
And cleaned it all up.
Many
and
things.
I
I have a lot of plans to turn
I bought. Loved it.
They really are concerned about this, by the way. So we first day out of work, so.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. So should we start?
I think so.
Maybe they're not here, so we can just start whoever's here with. Who all are here?
I saw
Oh, Gitanjali are here. And she left me.
I think she did. I think yesterday she did.
No, I saw her.
Today morning? Oh, okay. I maybe I'm mistaken with the face. I think we can just start with the thing because they're not coming in.
You start.
Yes.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm talking about work-life balance. First of all, I want to rename this term because work is also a part of life. So what about balance in life? Or even better, harmony in life? What does it actually require? What does it require from your perspective?
Yeah, it's not a rhetorical question, right? You want us to answer?
Yeah, I want you to answer. Any thought? What does it require? Know thyself and know how to handle thyself. To manage, actually. Not just to handle, but to manage. And this is easier said than done, obviously. There's one day. And this is all you have and all you need. One day actually says it all, more or less all. It says all about your habits, your routine, your characteristics. What you do in the day is actually who you are. And what you prepare for yourself for tomorrow, for the future. So we have one thing, one power. What is that?
Choice.
Power of choice.
Yes, exactly. There I want to go. We have some happening here, some stimuli. Alright? And then we have any kind of action of yours out of that. Okay? Stimulus or stimuli. We have something in between. And then we have your way of answering it, responding, reacting. Now, if you stretch this time out, in between, this is the power I'm talking about. This is you, actually. This is your judgment about it. This is the way you think about it. Can be barriers, can be everything. So somebody comes to you and talks to you, it's like da-da-da-da-da, something which you don't have in your hands. There's no power from your side. You're receiving something, okay? And in some ways, you react. Even when you don't say anything, it's also a type of reaction. So this is then here. But the way you're coming from this, receiving it, and then getting some output done, this is what you have. Make sense? Understandable? And this is, it sounds really trivial, but it's super powerful. Because this is the way you can choose to think and to judge about things. So it's actually the start of, I think, almost everything. Because the way you think, the way you feel. I strongly believe in that. We just had a conversation about this. This is diverse, the answers. What comes first, the thought or the feeling? Okay, it's the way you think. So it's directing your mind and then controlling it. And we can, as I said, we have this one day, and this is what we put in this one day, how we manage ourselves. And the better we manage ourselves, the more balanced or in harmony we are. For example, habits or a routine like reflecting the day on the end of it. It's the way of preparing your day in the morning, the way you are, continuously doing your task throughout the day, and so forth. So I want you to make a little experience, okay? I want you just to think. You can close your eyes, you can keep them open, and I want you to think about something which is bothering you. It's really sticking in your mind, or is with you in your mind since a longer time, unsolved. There's always something going on in our life, and sometimes we just suppress it, it's annoying, it's just unnice. Just choose one thing which is really bothering you or annoying. Annoying or is like postponing it. One thing. You're very reflective. Good. And now, if you have this one thing, I really want you to choose only one thing. Maybe we have 3, 4 of them or something. If you're honest, it's not always that balanced and solved and clean. So I want you to make a point now to choose when is it being done, when it's solved. Just choose one day, or maybe one, day and the time. Has to be realistic, of course. Can be any kind of problem or target. But targets usually don't bother us. Or sometimes they bother us when we never started it, going this way. So when it's done, it's like making a promise to yourself. Okay? You know a time, you know a date, maybe a place. Alright, now I want you to make the note what is the very next step towards it. The very next step. Okay? And then the next step after this step. And the third step. After the first step is done, the second step is done. What is the third step?
Excellent. Excellent.
Okay. All good. Beautiful. Okay. Good. Are we reached so far? Now, I want you to close your eyes. Okay? Close your eyes and imagine the day next to the day once you reached. Let's assume this is already done. How is your life now, and what will have been changed, and what is changed now after you reach this? Just feel it, see it, hear it. You can maybe smell and even taste it. Okay, good. Come back to here now. Open your eyes, shake out a little bit your arms. I hope you had a little but very nice journey. I want to talk to you about a little bigger picture now, or a huge picture, when it comes to your work-life balance, to your harmony in life and balance in life. We have a couple of categories or pillars, which I call it, like finances, like your health, like your social life, like spirituality or religion. And maybe you have another pillar which is important to you. They're usually 4, 5, or 6 pillars. Okay? And I want you to check all these pillars. What is good right now, personally for you? Which pillars are good? Like your health is good, your financials are good. Maybe social is maybe not that good. Maybe you had a fight in the morning or something like that with your best friend or your spouse or something. But can be also a bigger thing. Maybe some people like in a divorce, so that there's maybe some topsy-turvy time. Whatever it is, just reflect what is good, what doesn't need any work and attention right now, and contrary, what is right now not that good in some of these pillars eventually. Right? Done. Now, also, whatever is right now not that good or not that great or bad, what are you going to do about it?
Maybe you want to keep it like this, but maybe not. Yeah, nice. Okay, now I want to ask you a complete different thing. What is your dream? And what is your vision? Can be professionally, can be private. One of the two areas. This is number one. Do you know it, and what is it? Are you really closely connected with this vision, what it contains, with what brings along with that, like the feelings you create actually out of that, what you can see, your vision, so visualizing, feeling, hearing, and so forth. So now, another question is, this is actually straight to the point, talking about harmony, talking about balance. Do you know how to relax and what you have to do in order to relax? Do you really know that? Sometimes we don't have a week time to go on holidays, to unwind, to relax, to keep yourself back in balance. Sometimes you need just 1 hour, or you maybe have just 1 hour. So do you know how to calm completely down, body, mind, soul, spirit, whatever you think is important? And also, what can you do, or what do you usually do to get new energy, to restore your energy? Okay, all that will lead you wherever you want to actually be. So the more you balance yourself, the higher you can reach. Somewhere you have a graph. When we talk about a balance or a harmony in life, it doesn't mean it will be an average life or something. No, it's actually almost the opposite, if you wish, if you want. Because when you have this power within, you can manage everything, whatever you like. Even when it's like a housewife, you take care of one child, this is your mission. Or you want to have $1 million company, which you want to, create, start up, whatever it is. So the more you're in harmony and balance and peace with yourself, the more power you can generate. You can get, I would say, from the universe. There's somewhere a source. So, but it's completely up to you how big or small you want to create. And that means once you have this done, you will reach your dream or your vision. Thank you.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I request the three of you to come forward? If you're fine getting up a bit, shaking your body a bit, and just transferring yourself from that seat to this seat.
I thought you'd take care of the fitness part.
I wish I had a song and we could do Zumba on it, but unfortunately that's not to be.
We should do Pilario actually.
Yeah. Your choice, Jasmin. You're the leader. So today, I got into entrepreneurship about 5 years back. And when we got this topic on work-life balance, what I was reflecting on was my journey. And what are some of the things which have helped me create balance, harmony. So when I was listening to Jasmin, there are two things that I totally aligned with. One, work-life balance is a myth. I used to work with Gallup Consulting. We used to do engagement surveys throughout the world. And the one statement which would always get the lowest scores was, do I have work-life balance? So it's a universal problem, it's a global problem, and we are all struggling to find our balance in life. Therefore, when she said it's not really about work-life balance, but overall harmony in the way we live, the way we think, it immediately connected. The second important message which came out to me from her talk was that we have the power of choice. And whatever we are is a reflection of the choices that we have made in life. So taking these two paradigms forward, let me share with you 3 key strategies that have helped me as a women entrepreneur. The first one is really dissolving the boundaries between work and life. So there are a lot of times when I am at home, I am looking after my kids, I am doing whatever needs to be done, but there is work going on. And there are times when I am on a vacation, but if there is work to be done, it needs to be done, because entrepreneurship is a 24/7 job at the end of the day. If you are not mentally ready to be in that state, then you don't deserve to be in it. Right? Whatever your business needs, it needs to be done. The second thing has been really sorting my priorities. Just to give you a context, I come from a house where the core belief is that your house should be always spick and span. When I started working, there were times when I would come back home at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. at night, and you won't believe it. The first thing I would do is enter my house and make sure everything is in order. And I've had to change that. I've had to change that. I've had to tell myself, you have a career, you have a business to run, you have kids to manage, and it's okay if the house is messy. And I'll tell you, that's been one key shift which really made me very, very peaceful in life. The third core strategy has been about co-opting. If there is any resource which is available around me who can help me to take care of the day-to-day responsibilities, I don't need that resource. So just to give you an example, I'm a morning person. I can get up really early in the morning. My husband is a night person. You can make him stay awake till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. He'll be perfectly fine with that. And initially, there was this whole phenomenon of arguments happening because he wouldn't get up in the morning, which means all the burden of doing whatever needs to be done in the morning is to fall on me. Then I realized that rather than arguing with him, a better strategy is to divide responsibilities as per my body clock and his body clock. So now the way we work, all morning stuff I do, and all evening stuff he does. I've also had the privilege of having my in-laws staying with me, and that's been a big help. And I really take care of my helps, because they are the most important ecosystem stakeholder if you have to run your work and run your business successfully. As long as you take care of them, they are happy and you are happy. And I really respect them,
We are
for
privileged
what they
in
do.
India to have.
Absolutely, for whatever they do.
Privileged and challenged, I would say.
Yeah, it's a challenge to find a good one.
Forget about choosing your husband. Just check the family.
Absolutely. So those have been the 3 key learnings for me. Every point of time when you're running a business, you're making a choice. The first priority is to ensure that whatever you've embarked on, you are successful in it. Otherwise, you've just wasted your time, right? So that needs to be taken care of, and that cannot be compromised on at any cost. But everything else
can be handled through a supportive ecosystem. So that's what I have to share with all of you. Thank you so much for listening. Any questions?
I would like to make an add-on because I think it's beautiful what you shared when you start in entrepreneurship. So you get challenged because you're facing yourself, your old routines, and what you used to do. And like when I started entrepreneurship, so for me the biggest challenge was, I started at home, working from home, and I was doing everything but not working. So everything was topsy-turvy, and I really needed to sort out, okay, what to do first. So, and this is, I think, still going on every day. This is like, now living in India, so there are different challenges as in Germany or in the US. But however, you have to always manage yourself, you have to be aware. And I think the awareness is the key. What is right now important, what is urgent, and what can be delegated to everybody else.
Absolutely.
And what I also learned is, and this was, I think, the most helpful thing from Tim Ferriss, the automatic system. Not just about my business, but all the people around me. And the privileges in India, you have a lot of domestic help in whatever way. But you have to really train them, regardless if it's in English or in Hindi. So there's a lot of misunderstanding because you take things for granted which are actually not being able to. People never experience this kind of, maybe work or, when you say a sentence, you really mean it. It's not like Bobby or something, it's not vague. So actually you say this straightforward and you have to make an announcement. So you learn your lessons. And I think this was really the biggest thing, so to make automatic system that you can really take care of your core. So what is the most important thing to work on your business and not every day in your business?
We would love to hear your experience. I know both of you are running a business.
Management.
In terms of how do you experience?
How do you manage yourself? How do you manage
Yeah,
yourself?
how do you get balance in your life?
Well, I'm only figuring that out now.
As we achieve the state of nirvana.
You achieve the state of nirvana.
I think what I had to learn, it was an experience. I had to go through that. Just putting yourself first and what you want, and you have to figure that out. When you figure out what you want, then you can start moving in that direction. And for me, what I wanted took me a long time to figure it out because it was more about knowing me and the things that I liked. I never knew what I really liked, so I would always follow everybody else and just continue to say yes and figure things out. But once I just took the time to learn more about me and what I liked, that created more of a balance in my life. That I took the time to relax, to calm down, and there was always a time. For me, nothing is ever an emergency anymore. Right? When people want you to run,
nothing is on fire.
that's right. No, I'm not running. I'll do things on my time when I'm ready, and if I can or if I can't. It's just something I think you have to kind of figure out. You have to go through it and figure it out. But I wish there would have been a book that I could have read. This is what you're going to go through, so get ready.
But I think
there are various books.
Right? Key point is to listen to it.
I had a speech, she had a speech, and now we're discussing about the personal experiences.
How do we create balance in our life?
You want to share your experiences?
Actually,
Because we need this for the records. I learned that.
Hi, my name is Erica from Japan. Currently, I'm based in India, Gurgaon, and working for Japanese media. And actually, I never think about work-life balance because, the job is my life. I mean, I also have a private life, but there's no boundaries between.
The term is
and,
just
yes.
misused, I would say. Doesn't
Yes.
make any sense to use it.
Yes. So what I want to say is that whenever I get stressed, I just go to bed and get some sleep. and then I will be, free for anything, go for working, and then talking to my family and my partner also helping me. Yes, very happy.
Like a question, so do you know about how to relax, how to unwind, to get your energy?
Yes.
Yeah, some people have that, so some people sleep, and I think this is the easiest thing to do, but I think not really the most effective one. It's like some people started painting, or they started singing or something, or talking to the family, and this is usually very powerful.
Yeah, in fact, just to add on, and one of the thoughts came as you were speaking, that when you start seeing life as a continuum rather than as a point of time, that is when things become much easier to manage. If it's not happening today, it's okay if it happens tomorrow. But in the next 1 week or 1 month, it should happen. And that's been really helpful in managing the priorities. And just to add to your point, as I've got into entrepreneurship, it's really connected me to the creative self. I don't know how that magic happens. Maybe it's the stress, or you're finding an alternate way to manage your entire paradigm. When I started writing after I got into entrepreneurship, and I like poetry. And
that's
it's been an amazing journey.
That's a stress buster. How you balance yourself actually in your entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so one of the things I learned several years ago, there was a psychologist who has, have you heard of tapping? She taught tapping, and one of the things that she taught as she was going through that was an internal board of directors. And one of my internal board of directors is, I don't know if you've seen the movie the movie Peter Pan, the dog Nana, that's the big shaggy dog. So Nana is my director of marketing, human resources, and her job is to lay in front of my office door so I don't go in. So when I leave the office, because my office is in my home, it's too easy to go back, right? Or to go in early and not leave for lunch. So I try to set really strong boundaries so that I actually leave the office for lunch and I go and do something. I walk or read something, just something to get away from the office. Because I find that if I don't, my mind goes kind of soft, if that's the right term. Because if I don't rejuvenate doing something else, I can't think quickly. So I've made I've put systems in place for me that enables me to get away.
It's interesting. We call this, in coaching, inner parts. That's what you said about this internal directors. And I love it because I never heard about this. This is like the official term. Because when I asked them, if you close your eyes and you just make a meeting with, all your inner parts, it's like, what? Which inner parts? This is me. Who's saying that? This is me. So maybe you have, shame, you have hunger, you have love, and then, it becomes even more a little crazy, and they're cartoon characters, they're sometimes only colors or something. I love that one. It's nice. And I think we create systems because once we reach wherever we reach, so there was some reason behind that. And creating some
supportive systems.
Yeah, some systems, I would say. Of course, supportive, but sometimes they're not supportive anymore and they go, haywire somewhere else. And I think this helps a lot. So how we manage ourselves. This is what, my speech was also about. And it's like I made this little game for the 3 or 4 of you. And this is about what is really bothering you since a long time. And then you have to set a date on that, and then you have to understand what is the first step you're going to do now, and the second and the third. And then how is the feeling? And I hope you got that. It's like once it's done, it's usually such a release.
Satisfied.
Your shoulders getting lighter, you grow, spine get elongated. Oh, thanks God. And this is usually motivating, carrying on. Okay. You want to share your experience, how you balance yourself?
We are all on our ways. Even if you're working, you are creating a balance for yourself.
Yeah, like I have 2 kids, one is 2 and the other is 6. But initially it was quite a challenge for me even to really leave the house and think of taking up a job. So now I work with Habitat for Humanity and I'm quite surprised that my children are able to handle. The thing is that they get used to, if mama is there, then they feel that, they take it for granted. But the moment they see that mama, this particular time of the day, mama is not going to be around, they automatically start learning to handle it themselves.
They manage different.
Yes. And it helps me also because when I was at home all the time, many of the times I used to end up bending out my frustrations on the children. And I'm so fed up of, all the time feeding them, all that, And I just wanted to get out of the house and do something. I love Habitat for Humanity. In fact, I worked there before marriage for 6 years. Then I took a break with my children and I've joined back again. But I work part-time, of course. But I really feel so satisfied and happy. And one of the things somebody had shared actually was quite nice. That, they show a picture of a woman, relaxing in a bathtub basically. And then, there's all these things in the mind that I have dishes to wash, I have food to make, I have a list of things to be done. But in the end, what does a child need? A child wants a happy mother. A child doesn't need a shouting and a screaming mother that my house is in a mess.
What? I think the only thing I personally feel is to just let go. That's it. Let go what is actually super unimportant. Or you have not in control. You don't know. Sometimes you're just thinking about what is really not necessary, and you're just working on that and giving all your time and energy on it. Just so sometimes it doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter. So what? So what? Exactly. The dishes are not done. They're not done. Big deal.
Who cares?
Exactly. Exactly. Who cares in 1 year? Who cares in 1 year?
Who cares?
Not even.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be a year.
Whoever it wants, please do it.
That's right.
I mean, feel free. Let's all say it.
Yeah. Who cares?
That's what we all are here for. Who cares?
A couple of things. So, in terms of being balanced, if I'm feeling out of sorts or whatever, napping is wonderful. Taking a nap, anywhere, anytime of the day, doesn't matter. And the other thing that I have found has worked extremely well for me is if you think about, and especially if you're working from your home and you have tasks, if you walk past the washing machine, I'll throw a load of wash in or a laundry or whatever. You're doing things all the time. But what I have found has worked extremely well is setting the timer for a 10-minute period. And in 10 minutes, I'll say, okay, I'm going to do as much as I can do in 10 minutes just for a particular activity, and then that's it. Once the timer goes off, I'm done. I don't do it anymore. But it makes me much more effective, efficient, and because I think the rest
It's just this. That's why we are still on this earth. That kept us actually alive.
In fact, one of the
human race,
shifts which are happening is very interesting. So when you listen to a man about what balance is, usually it's about work versus taking time out for trekking or going off-roading. that is what they talk about. And when we as women talk about it, it is about balancing work and home and family. And one thing that I've really been trying to tell my husband and all people in my network is that unless the household responsibilities get equally divided between the partners, it's very difficult for women to achieve this balance. Sandy, I wanted to hear your perspective on that. How does it work in US or your country or in Japan?
Yeah, she asked you something.
Well, I'm not married, so I get to take care of myself. Yeah, so y'all.
The mic goes all the way back. Yeah, go.
Okay.
First and foremost, I believe that we are our exactly, absolutely. You took the words right out of my mouth, because and as you said it, if you have 24 hours in a day you can fill your day up with work, and we'll continue to do that. But if we need to have it balanced in terms of who is contributing to what's going on, we have to be saying this needs to happen. Most times, women, they'll just step up and keep doing it. And then, at the end of the day, and I know I was guilty of this. I don't do it now because I don't do anything anymore. I don't do anything. Massages, relaxing, who cares? But at the end of the day, it would be, I had this to do, and I had to do that, and we complain and complain and complain, and yet, and so if your partner, if you're in a relationship with your family, if you have children, they're not whining and complaining, no, because they're not doing all the tasks that you're doing, and yet, if you were to ask them most times, it's not a problem, but they require the direction. Women tend to not do it because they think it's going to take longer to delegate and have them do it. They're not going to do it the right way, or it's not going to be good enough.
One word for that. We are control freaks.
Control freaks.
We are. That's why women always ask their husband, what do you do? With whom are you? This and that. I also find myself sometimes doing this. Like, that's actually, who cares?
Who cares?
Control freaks, if you're delegating a work and it is not done, so you will be always like on the case, it is not done properly.
And it has to be done within the time frame.
That's right.
At that time when I'm hyper, I told you to do this, you did not.
Yeah, but that's the thing that we need to let go of.
Yes, I'm going to give you one quick little example. I'm going to draw on two of my children, and they're two little boys. They are 18 months apart. They're older now, but when they were babies, I remember, and I was nursing both babies, so I wasn't gone for very long, but I was getting ready to go out, and what I used to do is have the outfits ready and have the diapers ready, and I would get everything prepared for my husband so that he would be taking care of his children, our children, but I felt the need that I had to get all this organized. And then, exactly, wanting to make sure that they had the right outfits on, and so then, one day, I said, he doesn't get the outfits ready for me. He doesn't get the diapers ready for me. I have to do it. They're my kids, they're his kids. Something wrong with this. So the next time, I didn't do any of that. I came home.
And it was smelly.
Our son, no. It was absolutely fine. He had CJ's, so CJ's older than Gareth. He had CJ's outfit on Gareth. And I looked at the two boys and I said, sweetie, why did you put that on him? He said, well, I don't know whose clothes are what. I mean, I went into the drawer and that's what they were, and I put them on, and I realized, I said, okay, great. They're not harmed. They're not. It's just they don't have the outfit on that I would have put on, but I let that go.
Exactly.
And from that point forward, it's like no more preparing outfits or anything. Exactly. Who cares? Exactly. Okay.
I have a nice story to finish this.
And I think it's a lesson to learn for us women. So there's a guy, and he, got up one day and he realized he's sick. Had a bad cold, cough, fever. What is he going to do about it? calls his mom, somewhere in Europe. There's no mom at home anymore. Calls his mom. Mom, I'm sick, I have fever. Okay, I'm coming. Stay in bed. So he stays in bed, he has a nice TV series, watches a movie, read a book or whatever it is. And then after 2 days, he calls the office, so I'm on a sick leave, so I can't come. At least for a week. Or maybe at least for a day, and then I will see tomorrow or something. So after 3 days, he's completely fine. What happened in these 3 days? He got pampered. He got, everything, mom came over, almost stood there overnight, got tea and a soup and this and that. And he didn't do anything except of recovering. Smart. Same happened with the lady. She got up one day and felt fever. I can't talk in a proper way, cough, cold, super unnice. What she's going to do about it? She takes some pills, some medicine, some extra water, hot water with lemon, all that stuff what are supposed to work, and she goes to work. So, and usually she carries them on during the day and she didn't feel good, so she takes a lot of extra time to, get the tasks done and so forth. At night she goes home and straight to bed, slept for 10 hours and then got up in the morning, took another pills and so forth. So, she pushed herself, and then I think after 1 week she got really fever and then she was in bed for another week. So after 2 weeks, finally it was over. 1 week of, procrastinating, going to work, not going to work, finally going to work and so forth. I think there's a lesson what we women do about ourselves and trying to get things done. Talking about control is one thing, but I think what is most important to take care of ourselves and let go, because this is not in our control. So I think there are few lessons to be learned from men, which can be really role models on that.
To end it, who cares?
Who cares? Yeah, who cares? Your work goes on, and we'll be finished. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a beautiful presentation. I love it. No. I'm going to call the guy to take a picture. He came in and he saw us all sitting very comfortably. He ran out here.
Okay. Text me if you need anything.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wait for a minute. I'll just get the guy. Oh, sure. What's happening? Excuse me.
He's here. Great. Come on, ladies, let's get a picture.
One group photo.
Did you check the picture of this chest? Who cares? Okay. It's just water. It'll dry. Yeah.
We really sounded out.
Free में मिल गया
थोड़ा सा उधर है.
आप फोन से भी करिए ना.
हाँ वो हो जाए. चलो smile. Yes.
He always says that. Yeah. And then we say happy.
Yes.
Cheese. Masala.
Thank you.
Things. Unexpected outcome. Nice. I like it.
Yeah, I have
nice. Things. I'm glad you came. Things.
Thanks for the
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where are you staying for the house?
Sorry, I've run out of my decided job.
Do that. I'm also from Riga. Oh, really? The center is in Sun City.
Is your real name? Yeah. Because I know Chinese have this habit, so they give themselves sort of American or English names to make it really easy for others. Yeah, it's very selfless.
Name Erica.
Nice. Lucky you, because it's easy to pronounce. Absolutely. Erica. Nice. Yeah, so let's get connected.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. I will drop the message.
And you are staying in Gurgaon also? Yes. Oh, Gurgaon TV. So we're all in Gurgaon. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, great. So you're working with the Indian company? Or both? Internationally, Indian? Okay. You do the corporate training? Germany. Me too, Berlin in April. Okay. And you had a good time? Yeah. It was too cold in April. Was it? I was also in April in Germany. It was springtime. I thought so, but it's too cold. When was it? On the end of April? No, it's just the beginning of April. It was really 25 degrees. Really? Yeah. Berlin was it became winter on after 12th. I flew out on 11th. And then on 12th, they had also snowed in. It's like, I don't know, it's weird. It was spring and then winter. It's more water.
And after I came to Paris, that was nice weather.
Yeah? But it's also cold. I mean, usually whole Europe, I mean, you can't really escape so much. It's like maybe 5 degrees difference or something. And you work there or you just travel around?
Just travel.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Envious.
So, did you experience some night events yet here?
No.
Night? Not night events?
Today is the last night.
Yeah.
Let's
see what will happen exactly.
I want to ask one question. How to manage anger? You know, I mean, sometimes my boss or colleagues pisses me off. I just cannot manage my anger and just burst into tears. Not in the office, but in the
Later.
Yes.
Okay. This is what I said. So you have the action and you have your reaction. And whatever you give in between is what you have as a power. So it's just like sometimes, okay, just a second. Why do I get angry about it? And how must I think to get angry? Because you create this emotion, this feeling. How you're thinking to get into this mood. Because maybe you feel it's not fair. It's not fairly treated, or it's just,
Exactly.
unfriendly. Exactly. Yeah. Usually what I experience what is helpful is to step in the shoes of the other person. As this stupid or aggressive or whatever is this person will cause in this moment at least. So if you step into the shoes of this person, you understand far better. The understanding is usually the key on that, because he also or she can't do better at this point of time. It's like experiences, expectations. Maybe he has some, stress, from his boss or a lot of pressure, and he has to, give it to somebody. So it can be various. And we are stepping, in coaching sessions, we are stepping into the shoes of the other person, and we are a little hallucinating. But as human beings, so you understand, we have the same way of thinking about, fairness. I mean, so the rough idea is the same. And this usually really helps. We see the person differently.
Just to add on, I think that's an issue. But one thing which is very important is not to suppress that.
Exactly.
But that's also nice. If someone has done something you thought was unfair, something which made you angry, it's okay to go and have conversation. person receives it. Not receiving it in the right way. Obviously, there's a connection which needs to be done. How will that other person know unless you go back and speak to them?
To let it out. I think as an add-on, this is absolutely like that to add on. It doesn't mean when you sit with somebody and open up, does this person actually change anything? It does not give any right to you, so it doesn't change anything eventually, so but you give it, you will let it out. I go usually to the source, why you're creating this. But once you created this, put it up, be aware of it, and just, solve it. Get rid of it in a nice way.
I might be doing something, and I might not even be conscious of how I'm impacting the other person.
You need a feedback, exactly. So also it's like your boss, or maybe he also needs a feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's also helpful actually. If you want to help a person, you usually give feedback. If he or she takes it, is a different thing. But usually you mean it well for the person. Just to give the chance to change.
Yeah. Otherwise you change.
Yeah, you change your course. I mean, that's what I said, because what I usually go into is the power which you have. And sometimes it's not the right time to open up, in front of your boss or whatever. So maybe sometimes we need a different timing for that. But in general, so I absolutely agree, because it gives a lot of opportunities to the other person. And then what's going to happen here now?
Yes, we are all ready to listen to you. Okay. I'm ready to speak. I'm going to sit down here because it's a small session.
Let's just wait for 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Are we done?
No, we're just on time. We're a minute early. Yeah.
And if it's a small group, we'll just sit at a round table.
Yeah. Everybody closer together.
Do you want, is there somebody I need to go in front? No.
Just in case.
Yeah.
You can give it 1 more minute.
Yes.
Should I have to stand because I need to change sides? She's coming back? Yeah.
Yes.
Is it okay if I sit here? It's good
Okay.
for you? Yes.
lady's coming back. The lady was the volunteer.
स्लाइड चलाने के लिए एक बंदा चाहिए, स्लाइड चेंज करने के लिए एक बंदा चाहिए.
लेडीज क्या हो?
Yeah, I don't know if she's coming back.
Your table is on.
Sorry?
Just.
Yeah, but I just think the slides should be shifted, but I don't know if the lady who is the volunteer for this session is coming back or not.
शिफ्ट कहाँ से होगा, वायर कहाँ से आएंगे HDMI की?
Okay, so maybe while we wait, I'll just start with the introduction. So thank you so much for coming. There are so many interesting parallel sessions going on, so it's really, really nice of you to take an hour to come, and we can all share some of our personal experiences because it's such an intimate session. So I'm not going to leave any time for Q&A. Just as we go, you stop me and you share your own experiences, and we'll have a dialogue instead of just me talking. So my name is Tena Pik, and I am the co-founder and CEO of the Sustainability Platform. Sustainability Platform is a social impact consultancy based out of Dubai. I am obviously not from UAE, I'm Croatian, but we have been working from the UAE for the past 5 years, and in these 5 years we had the privilege of working with mostly female entrepreneurs around the world. So these are some of the areas in which we have been doing our work. As you can see, it's literally from Haiti to Indonesia. And even though it's such a diverse world with so many different cultures that we have worked in, there are some similarities that we have kind of picked up along the way, similar challenges, similar opportunities, and what's even more important, similar action points that we can all kind of take on at the end of this session so we can make sure that we go forward in the female entrepreneurship. Thank you. We can skip this slide because it's irrelevant. So currently we are all working towards the Sustainable Development Goals agenda, which is for the first time probably in the history of time, corporates, private sector and not-for-profit sector, as well as the public sector, is working towards the same agenda. Unlike the Millennium Development Goals, Sustainable Development Goals actually give a lot of room for both private, public, and also personal level action. So this is an amazing opportunity for all of us to kind of know what targets we need to hit and by when. SDGs, most corporates will say now, oh, I'm so interested in working with Sustainable Development Goals. Which one? The one about poverty. Okay, what else? What would you like to do with that? Well, we don't know, but it sounds very good, so we joined the UN Global Compact, and that's where it ends. Sustainable Development Goal 5, gender empowerment, is, in my opinion, and I'm not biased, it's not that it's my word, is the most important sustainable development goal, for a simple reason. If we don't empower women, and if we don't reach that goal, everything else cannot be achieved, because we're ignoring 50% of the world's population. Thank you. So, here are some of the challenges. There are 5 challenges, 5 opportunities, and 5 action points that I have identified for today's session. Challenge number 1 is lack of understanding of women's specific needs. So what I mean by that is, I'm going to give you an example with an Indian company based in Bangalore that I was working with on their CSR program. And their CSR program was about empowering blue-collar workers within the company, so cleaning ladies and so on, with English and computer skills. So these women already work for 12 hours a day, and most of them do not live in Bangalore, so they still have to take the transportation in the morning and in the evening to go home, which can take up to 2 hours. What does this company do? They pumped in a lot of money in this program, and they put it at the end of their working hours. So that's adding 2 hours extra onto these women's days to empower them. The end project, the end report, looked amazing. Increase in English skills, increase in computer skills. Women are so happy. And then when we went and we actually talked to the women, they were miserable. Like, I come home now at 1 a.m. because I stayed there. It's not safe for me to go that late. There's no more public transport to get to my village or wherever it is that she's living. And then I come home, and then my husband and my mother-in-law and my mother look at me and they're like, okay, and now who's going to cook the lunch
lunch for tomorrow, and who's going to clean. So it's adding extra responsibility onto women because they just did not understand how specific the needs and the livelihoods of these women already are. As I said, stop me, examples, questions at any point. Yeah? Second, entrepreneurship driven by need rather than by choice. Now, when we talk in New York and London and San Francisco, everybody says, but you need to feel the need. There has to be a problem that you want to solve. So why am I saying that entrepreneurship driven by need in this particular scenario is a bad thing? Because it lacks innovation. And what I mean by that is that women in rural areas their livelihoods depend on one income, the income of the man. The men in these rural areas very, very often move either to urban areas or to abroad to get better livelihoods. These women are left basically with nothing, depending on whether or not that monthly income is going to be sent to them. So they turn to entrepreneurship. What happens is your neighbor starts weaving baskets. 5 months later, the whole village is weaving baskets. There is no market for those baskets anymore, and those women took, what did they take? They took out microloans. What happens then? They cannot pay them back. So if there's no innovation, if it's just copy-pasting because you think that this is how you will be able to make that livelihood, that is a huge problem. And this is a problem we have been seeing everywhere, from Africa to India to the Middle East. 3 is access to funding. And this is one of those challenges that is true if you're in New York, London, Dubai, or New Delhi. Women-owned companies do not get funding at the same rate as male-owned companies, which is not just problematic for the women-owned companies, it also makes zero business sense if you're an investor, because we all know that women-owned businesses actually tend to be making larger rates on return, and they withstand crisis a lot better, so they can be in the business for a lot longer in turbulent times. Access to funding, I don't know of any example currently anywhere in the world in any of the big investment hubs